Happy New Year. I am doing my first live of 2022. So if you are watching live or catching up later, it's really lovely to have you here. So I wanted to start this year with something really practical, and it's a tiny tweak, but I have seen it in action many times, and I've really noticed it in one of my goals already. So one of my goals for this year is to grow my podcast, and I am always asked, like, what is the secret formula? Like, how do you do that? And the answer is, I don't really know, which is not, there's no rhyme or reason to the growth. But something has happened that I did last month. And I've always kind of kept an eye on my stats and making sure that the episodes that I schedule to go live do go live. But here's what the tweak was. I used to get a monthly report, and you can save the notifications, like, do you get a monthly report or do you get a daily report? And I always had a monthly report. So I used to get this monthly report of what was happening with my podcast. And that monthly report was only occurring on that particular day. So say I got my monthly report on the 25th of December. If I looked at my podcast stats, Christmas Day, for example, it probably wouldn't be a fair reflection of what was going on with it. And so before Christmas, what I decided to do was I decided to switch the settings to daily reports. And not only have I now got much more of an idea of what's going on, I have a sense of focusing on it every single day. And around 6 o'clock, I'll get an email. It does sound like it's not the stock market, somebody calling in the numbers, but I got to this. So I get this email every single evening, and I can see where I am and what's happening and what's flying and what's not. And what I've noticed since doing this is I'm charting. And I'm charting in 4 or 5 countries across the world. And I didn't know that. And I didn't even know if this has been happening for 6 months, or I didn't know, because I was relying on that one particular day to get a fair assessment of where I was. And this week, for the first time in a long time or not, I don't really know, I've charted back in the UK charts. And the podcast is 4 years old next week, and I'm really pleased about that. And so what I want to say today is, if you have goals, or if you have things that you want to change, or even, it doesn't have to be these big, enormous changes. Give yourself that opportunity, and it literally could be 5 seconds of going. So with the podcast, for example, it's really easy for me because I get an email. So I can look at it 5-10 seconds and I have a sense of what I'm doing. And, I could put them in a spreadsheet and all of that, but I'm not doing that. So whatever it is that you want to change or you want to tweak, have a photo of it somewhere on your wall or on your screensaver or on your desktop, or a reminder or something like that, just so you remember to think about it, that you remind yourself that you're working on it. Because there have been so many years where I've written these big, beautiful lists of all the stuff that I want to achieve, and I write it down, and then I fold up the notebook, and then I put it in a drawer, and then I forget about it. And then I find it later, 6, 7, 8 months down the line, and I think, oh, I forgot I was working on that. And I know, because I've got lots of things in my head at all times, and I'm working with people, and I've got kids and a partner and a house and, life stuff, we're all trying to do all of these things, that you have to almost bring your goal to you, or what you're working on, and give yourself that reminder that you're doing it. And so what have I learned from that daily shift, from a monthly to a daily? That I'm much further along than I thought I was. So that monthly situation wasn't giving me a fair representation. So if you're looking at changing something, it is about that moment of going, I'm doing it. And there's, I for some reason, I came across this video on YouTube, the other day, and it was a singing teacher, and she was teaching this 11-year-old how to sing I Have Nothing by Whitney Houston. I mean, a big song, big song. But this singing teacher was so into it, and she was like, yes, yeah, she was just cheering her on along the whole way. And as a 40-year-old woman, do you know what? When you're all things to all people, it feels really nice when you have that moment for yourself of like, oh, go on, yeah, you're doing it. Oh, well done. Oh, that thing did work. Oh, brilliant. Or if you're not quite getting the data, as it were, that you want, it gives you more information anyway. And I really noticed this when 5 or 6 years ago, I started to think about trying to make more money because I was 35 and I wasn't financially where I wanted to be. So I made that commitment of going, okay, I'm not going to just like check my bank account once a month. I'm going to check it every single day. And that was really, really tough because I did not want to do that. I didn't want to do it. Why would I? Especially at a point where it wasn't particularly favourable. Why would I want to put myself through that? But I have noticed that for me, it's little and often, each and every day, doing something really small. And sometimes, maybe on Sunday, I won't be looking at my emails. Fine, no problem. I'll pick it up on Monday, I'll pick it up on Tuesday, but the option is there if I want it to. So my takeaway for today, I guess, is to share. Have a think about what it is that you really want this year to be about for you. And I'm really, even though I'm a coach, I'm really hesitant to use goal setting because especially in this funky time that we're in right now, I mean, funky is not the word, let's face it, but people have been hesitant to kind of say, oh gosh, we don't want to jinx anything or dream too big, or we're just looking for a bit of consistency and that's fine. And yeah, I'm probably not going to make the invention to fly to the moon this year or anytime soon, but there are things that I know that make me feel better or make me feel more like me or bring more joy to my life that I want to bring in. And unless I actually focus on doing that and taking daily action or every other day, whatever it might be, I'm not going to be able to do that. So that is my little tip from me to you today. I hope it's been useful. Think about what you can bring from a monthly action into a daily action. I'm also running my CEO Day next Monday on the 10th of January. This is called Jam and Plan Live. It's 4 sessions. You come with your notepad and pen. It's on Zoom. It's a glorious thing. There's 4 sessions, 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. And basically what we do is we do a tour of your whole business and a bit of your life as well to make sure what you're building in terms of your personal branding, your business this year is actually aligned with your life, your circumstances, your goals, how you want to be, how you want to spend your time, etc. So we begin very much with reflection and thinking like, okay, what's been going on for me? What hasn't? Then moving into money. And then the afternoon is much more about marketing and expanding your reach and audience and making everything much simpler. And that could be thinking about your website, the way you promote your services, all of that good stuff. So if you want to join, sorry about the police siren, I live in London. If you want to spend a whole day on your business, come on Monday. The other beautiful thing about this is you get a week of email support afterwards, or WhatsApp support, voice note, etc. And the reason this is so valuable is how many courses, seminars, workshops, events, experiences have you been to where you learn all the information, you absorb it all, you maybe get in your car or you finish at the end of the day and you're like, yeah, that, oh, okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. The day after you might go, bloody hell, I can't do any of it. And you almost get a self-development hangover, like your head gets in the way. How am I going to do that? Oh, I don't have what I need. That's going to cost more money. Do I have time? And this is why I have included this week of email support afterwards, because I'm going to be there on that Tuesday saying, hello, I'm here. What we doing? What would you like to do? And you have me for the next week. So being able to have that daily check-in is a really great thing, and you can share stuff, you can send me stuff to read through, etc. The other great thing is I know this works because the very first Jam and Plan Live I did was in June 2020, and that was a really uncertain time. And one of the students in that particular session was a photographer, and the photography business had completely shut down, and her income was come to a standstill. Weddings have been cancelled and things like that. And what people decided to do, or her audience, they took it as an opportunity to give her exposure, to say, why don't you come and shoot this for free? Why don't you come and do this? Or we'll do this collaboration and we'll use your pictures and we might give you a shout out on the newsletter. And that was never going to work for her. It wasn't, because she was a very experienced photographer. I think she'd had like 15 years of experience. And during that day, she made a decision and a commitment to herself and the rest of the group. And of course, you can share as much or as little as you want, to say, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not working for free. I'm not doing things for exposure. I'm not doing things that don't make me feel good. And she declared that at the end of the day when we finished at 3:30. And the next morning when I did my check-in, she said, guess what happened last night? I said, I bet you got a request, didn't you, to do some free work? And she said, yeah, I did. I said, it often happens when we say, right, that's it, I'm never doing that again. We all get a test of like, okay, how serious are you about that? Oh, right, are you really committed? And it was so lovely to have that moment the next day of her saying, ooh, but maybe I should. Or perhaps I should, I've always done it. Maybe it could lead to all of that stuff, all of that old story. And together, what we were able to do was to craft an email back that felt really kind, really respectful, really lovely, really engaging, but gracious, but in line with where she wanted to go, but full of heart, but full of boundaries. And that's when that magic happens, because what I don't want anyone to do this year is just consume more information, more. Like already our brain, aka our computer, is like, it's the dial, it's the stuff, it's the But equally, I know that people need answers. I know that you want to plan, you want to know, okay, what am I focusing on? What am I doing amongst all the tiredness and everything that's been going on? What's actually going to get me where I want to get to? And what is it that I want to achieve or do, or etc. So if that floats your boat in the slightest, I would love to see you there. It's on Monday, the 10th of January. And if you can't make that live, let me know, because I have a recorded version of that as well. And of course, you get the week of email support as well. But I'm going to leave it there. Think about what you need to do on a day-to-day basis, rather than saving it for a rainy day check-in or a monthly check-in. Remember about the stuff and that you want to do and be and have and feel, because you're really important. You absolutely are. And I'm here to see you win. All right, thank you so much for listening. I'm sending lots of love, and I'll speak to you soon, and I'll save this so you can catch up whenever you need it. Okay, bye.